When will I begin streaming tomorrow? Around noon. 11 a.m. to noon we'll be starting. That's in Eastern time. So for example, it's 3 p.m. right now. Okay, once we get into picks here, I'll start commenting on them. It's just that there is a 3-minute delay at the end of this. I turned down music just a little bit so that it doesn't interfere with any of this. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to be an any support. Because XYZ is their support. So, as far as bans go, NASA's very strong ban right now because he's picked very often and snowballs very, very heavily. That's not to say that I feel he's completely broken, overpowered or anything, but he's definitely a strong champion and worthy of the little ban thrown at him. Janna, very, very strong support. And is very useful ban if you're planning to do an all-in team. So if you're all assassins that need to dive onto someone and absolutely mop them up and clean up a quick fight, banning Janna is a very good strategy. Caston, very, very strong mid laner right now, worthy of a ban. Fizz, same idea. Personally, I don't feel Fizz is as much of a priority ban, but he definitely is strong. He snowballs heavily. I just don't feel he scales quite as well in terms of team fight potential, but he definitely can be a super high threat. And Mumu, I've commented on this so many times now. Mumu is a class of junglers. If you want an AoE CC magic damage jungler, you have a lot of choices, and it's not worth banning all of them. So basically, this is them saying that I feel Amumu is the strongest of that type of jungler, so I'm going to ban him out. Alternatively, they could just pick Zac, Malphite, Sejuani. Any of those champions have a very similar role in a team. I'm not saying it's a bad ban, it's just I see it mostly in low elo, and I personally don't agree with it as much. Thresh, he's still a strong support. I don't know if he's really worth a ban, though. As far as picks, that definitely is a support Annie. Support Annie is one of the strongest supports right now. Has very, very high utility in terms of CC tankiness and just raw burst. So, strong pick there. I like that they first picked the Annie, basically saying, this could be a support Annie, it could be a mid Annie, you don't really know, and I can perform well in either role, although support is definitely better for it right now. It's highly likely that's a jungle Fiddlesticks. I don't see them doing anything else at this point. I know I'm getting ganked. Fiddlesticks, strong jungler, but easily counter-jungled. So if I was them, I would save that for a later pick and try and trade with someone. But that's perfectly fine. He is very blue-reliant. He doesn't duel very well in the jungle. So I would hope that blue team would pick a very heavy invade style of jungle. At least her dueling is strong, but it's not anywhere same level as, say, a Jarvan or a Xin Zhao or Lee Sin or anything like that that's going to just jump on the Fiddlesticks and absolutely decimate him. Sivir, very, very strong champion right now. And the damage output and snowballing potential of Sivir is very well complemented with the Annie. When running against an Annie, you're pretty much forced to run some sort of disengage kite team so that she can't get in range to land the combo. And Sivir handles that disengage very, very well with her spell shield. So she's going to be able to block the volleys from Ashe. She's going to be able to block the ults and bubbles from Nami. So I like that pairing. We'll see how well it works, but definitely strong potential. Orianna, great mid laner, very undervalued right now. Sivir is definitely ban-worthy. I see that you're saying that, Helix. I always ban Sivir in solo queue. Just because she's incredibly strong, she fits in pretty much any team comp, and yeah, she's just really worth a ban right now. We pretty much never see Cassiopeia played anymore, and the reason being is that you have to play Cassiopeia essentially perfectly for her to be worthwhile. I'm not saying that he can't pull off a Cassiopeia. It definitely works well with the AoE CC comp that Purple Team has, the Fiddlesticks ult, the Ash Arrows, Nami Bubbles, and ults. It works well. I just am worried that he's going to get dove and ganked a lot. On the split side, Shyvana top is very, very strong right now. I like that pick, and people don't really know how to play against it yet, myself included. I actually came up against one the other day. You can close the stream. It's going to be a 3-minute delay, so it won't make much of a difference regardless. I would recommend closing it, though. I will be recording and uploading all these to YouTube, so it's not like you're going to miss anything. You can watch it back after. Brian's going to be jumping in chat here, and he'll be able to handle some of the questions the rest of you have. You can just ask them in chat, and we'll do our best to answer any of them. Garen's running Exhaust Ghost. Exhaust on a top laner is... Oh, he swapped to Flash. Either way, Exhaust is not that effective top lane. Unless you're trying to snowball your jungler rather than yourself. I just don't know how I feel about that pick. It may work out really well for him. Again, I don't play top lane that much, so I'm not really qualified to comment on that. That being said, I personally would have expected him to run Ignite. There's not really a high priority exhaust target on the enemy team. You exhaust Shyvana, well, okay. She still has her burn damage. She still has the ults and everything. Where can you see the lists? Lists for what? Like, of who signed up? Or of previous games? Alright, this is going to take a few minutes to load in. For the ones playing, right now it's these 10 players, but if you mean the people sign up, I don't have a way for you guys to publicly view that at the moment. Ghost on Elise, that is actually an interesting choice. I personally wouldn't agree with it, but meh, up to them. Oh, the reason they're running Ghost on Elise is because they don't have Flash yet. Yeah, their main account is banned. So, could I get you to open up Navicat on there? There should be a connection I already created. It's called like remote or something like that. This is going to take a minute or two to load in. Yeah, it will take a little while for us to get in because we're on a spectate delay. Yeah. Shoutcast. Okay, so Brian is going to be handling the matchmaking for the next game. If you would like into the next game, you can still enter. Sign up at profornever.com and enter your roles preferably. And then what we're going to do is Brian is going to contact as many of the people as he's chosen through the stream chat as well as the in-game chat room. And he's going to essentially inform you that you're playing next game, and that way we can have a team finalized by the time this game ends. Sorry? No. No, I would just choose a random person for their preferred role. If you can't find someone near their rating or anything like that, try and choose someone who's like slightly higher rated that prefers it as their secondary role. Okay, so we're about to load in here, and we're going to do a... Is there a chance you can play in the next game? Yes, there's a very high chance. There's only about 20-25 people signed up right now, and this is already 10 people. They're not necessarily out of the running. If we have to, we'll put these people in a second game if it's going to improve matchmaking, but we're going to try and choose all new players for both teams. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line up both teams as far as their roles are concerned. Wait, what am I doing? There. Alright, so we have the junglers, tops, mids, AD carries, and supports. As far as summoner spells, they're all pretty much standard except for the fact that Elise is running Ghost. The reasoning behind that is she doesn't have the summoner spell yet. This is a Smurf account of his. He is a silver player, but his main was banned temporarily. Okay. Oh, game paused. I'm assuming they're just like making sure they have everything right. Yeah, you guys still have plenty of time to enter. Brian's going to be handling the matchmaking throughout. As far as starting items, Doran's shield on Shyvana, very, very standard. Garen running red pot seems very odd to me. Garen pretty much always runs Doran's shield. He needs that sustain, he needs that tankiness, and it's going to help him survive the incredible all-in potential. Ooh, they actually caught her out a little bit. Nothing's really going to come of it. No summoner spells. Oh, wait. Elise just randomly used Ghost. I'm not sure why she did that. Regardless, nothing much happened there. They did catch her out a little bit, turned some damage onto her, and nothing came of it. Again, I wouldn't agree with this build on Garen. Garen doesn't have that much kill potential level 1, 2, and 3. Generally, if you're running red pot, it means I get an early game kill and I win the lane. So you run it on things like Riven, Lee Sin, Shyvana even, I would almost expect to have it. But running red pot and then exhaust indicates to me that you're expecting, first of all, an early game gank. So if I was Shyvana, I'd be paying attention to that, being like, okay, it's probably that I'm going to be getting a quick gank. And also indicating that they intend to be able to snowball that lane. And Garen, he's a very dominant laner, but his actual kill potential is nothing that special. Outside of that, they opted to go Hunter's Machete on Fiddlesticks. That's a perfectly fine start on Jungle Fiddle, but it's you can do either. I would expect that if he was trying to land a like level 2, level 3 gank, he would probably be going Doran's, which he hasn't. Outside of that, all of the builds are pretty standard. I've mentioned before my dislike for running Fairy Charm on starting builds. It's fine. It doesn't really matter, and it's all going to change in a week or so anyways. So, not really worth mentioning. Elise has opted to clear her jungle. She actually needs to be making the minions tank that. Like, she almost died. She has to go back now, and she's not going to be able to get her red buff. So, that's a little bit of a misplay on her. On Elise jungle, you need to make your little spiderlings tank the buff. You should be able to do it without essentially ever being hit. This bot lane, I would expect Annie to start playing incredibly aggressively now. Land a stun, all in, get a quick kill. They don't seem to be opting for that, though. Quite literally, any trade you pull off is going to be in your advantage on this lane. So I'm not sure why they're baiting this stun. Maybe they're waiting for Elise to gank, but look at Elise's health. I don't see her being able to. So Fiddlesticks has done not a full clear, but pretty much. I don't agree with that. Garen's getting bullied a little bit here. I would have suggested loop around and try and get a quick first blood. Yeah, Garen's bullying a little bit, but like, look how much damage he's taking. Oh, flash down, but first blood obtained. I'm hoping that Fiddlesticks will be able to get this here. I wouldn't have overlapped my CC like that, though. I would have thrown my E, auto-attacked again, feared, then used another auto-attack drain. I believe would be the best trade there. Either way, good job on him to show up, but just a little bit too late. I wouldn't have bothered doing doubles. Just show up, get that first blood. Garen also did not use his Elixir of Fortitude. That may have saved him. At the very least, it would have got another turret shot or two onto Shyvana, and possibly bought enough time for Fiddlesticks to show up. Maybe like a Flash Fear or something. Bot lane here, what exactly? They landed an early kill. I'm actually going to back this up then. Alright, so where is Annie? Alright, so Annie got caught out here, and then got caught again by a bubble. So, good job on purple team to notice that. Personally though, as a support, you should not be out that far alone, and if you are, you need to make sure that you're being covered by your AD carry or jungle. Also, just of personal note, this bush is not worth warding. You ward Tribush and you ward Dragon. This isn't going to give you enough warning, and it doesn't cover Tribush. So I just don't feel it's worth contesting. If purple team wants to ward it, that's fine. But as blue team, I would not be putting that much pressure on trying to clear it out. Anyways, we're going to fast forward a little bit here. Looks like they're going to try and land something on the Orianna here. She just waltzes away though, no real risk for her. Good escape, good map awareness, seeing Fiddlesticks come out of the jungle and reacting in a timely fashion. Again, we're just going to fast forward this a little bit. Garen has used his exhaust, putting a little pressure back on. He has actually used his red pot now as well. Again, it's not making any difference. Shyvana is just too much of a beast in lane. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Garen gets killed now, because he's pushed so hard that, yeah, like, he can trade like that, but it's not really going to do any good. He has opted to go Doran's Shield now. I would have suggested starting with it, but it's going to give him at least a little bit of survivability here. He needs to abuse his passive, heal up a little bit, and then get Fiddlesticks to gank. Alright, Fiddlesticks is here for the gank. Perfect Flash Fear. I would expect this to be a kill. Perfect. Good job. Now they've turned... Okay, I'm going to jump back again. I want to see exactly why Nami was caught out like that. She's landing some auto attacks versus... She seems awfully aggressive. You're versus an Annie who has stun up. Annie's going to chunk about a third of your health early game, even with no AP items. You know you're going to take about a third of your health. You landed the bubble already, use that, but don't walk into their range again. That was just asking to have damage returned onto him. I would expect Ashe to be incredibly passive here. She is, good. As soon as your support is either gone or dead, you have to either go back to base or play very, very passive like she is. Nami's back. And blue buff is up for purple team. I would expect that to go over to Fiddlesticks, but it looks like they are going to give second to Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is very mana hungry, so that I like that they're handing it over. Interesting. Alright, so Fiddlesticks still hasn't been back to buy, and Cassiopeia decided to come all the way around for this. She had the mana, she could have cleared it from the other side. Shyvana turning the pain onto Garen again. That's going to be pretty much the theme of the lane, though. Shyvana is a bigger lane bully than Garen, and that's not going to change with levels. Yeah, free kill. How she's managing her passive? Yes. She does have blue buff now, so it's going to be pretty easy for her to maintain that. As Cassiopeia, you want to refresh your buff every time it's about to expire. That way it maintains half mana cost, even if you're using your Q on nothing. Looks like blue team's going to try and land a gank here, or maybe just get some farm onto Tilly's. Blue buff is still up for blue team, so I'm interested to see if they give that over to Orianna to balance out the mid lane, or if they try and get it to Elise to try and get her a little bit of an advantage. They're still not taking it. She's going to do Wraiths instead. Interesting. Oh, wait. Fiddlesticks ulting in. Did he not use his Sphere? Interesting. Yeah, maybe he was just not quite in range. I noticed wasn't able to read fully, but it looked like some people were asking about where you ward bot lane. I would place a ward here, here, sorry, like here, and then one in Tribush if they have a jungler like Fiddlesticks who's going to try and ult over the wall onto you. That if you don't need to place it here, you instead place it on their blue buff. Dropping a ward here isn't going to give you enough warning. You're not going to get out in time, 90% of the time. Because Fiddle's going to want to try and go through Tribush. Or he's going to come over this wall. Elise is headed top. Looks like they know already. Garen's getting the hell out. Good. They're finally clearing this blue buff. Personally, I feel you should never leave your buffs up for more than about a minute or two. Alright, they land their level 6 anti-stun. I would expect... Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Nice cleanup. A little bit sloppy getting Ashe arrowed inside the turret range, but it didn't matter. They're far enough ahead bot lane that they should be able to just burst every single time they get in range. As far as CS, Shyvana's ahead 2 kills and about 10 CS. Orianna is very, very far ahead. She's CSing much, much better than the enemy. So, very good job on her part. I would be trying to, now that she has blue buff, I'd be trying to turn that into some either kills or roam. I haven't seen if she's taking wraiths or not. Now that she has blue buff, she has 3 options essentially. She can go for aggressive kills by zoning Cassiopeia. She can take wraiths every time they spawn, or she can roam and try and get kills. Any of those options will work. Oh, she might die. Oh wait, no, never mind. Cassiopeia has no mana, so it's not even a threat. As Orianna, I would be trying to notice that, okay, she has 0 mana. She cannot ult me. She cannot follow up a gank. Obviously, I do have to be careful of Fiddlesticks because he has strong damage in CC, but Cassiopeia is essentially a non-factor in any upcoming fights. Looks like they know that... I think they know. Yeah, he's just going to loop around. It's difficult to tell which team is pinging which in spectator mode, but it seems like they're keeping a good eye on where the jungler's going and reacting appropriately. So, good job to both teams for that. Yeah, if I were Orianna here, I would be pushing this wave as fast as humanly possible. Oh, or she can take the kill. As I said, she has those 3 options. Kills, farm, or roam. And she chose the kills route. Perfectly acceptable. Good for her. She is standing on a ward now. I would expect... Yeah, that was a bad flash. Don't flash unless you know you're going to end up in range. Elise, good job in noticing and coming down for the counter gank. Not particularly needed, though. Alright, they should be able to turn this around and get a free kill onto Fiddle. Yep, good job. I would want them to turn this into a dragon. They have 4 members bot lane, or 3 members and a fed Orianna. I would be trying to push this dragon. Annie, though, has not been buying wards, or not enough wards. She needs to be she needs to get her sightstone, and she needs to be maintaining pink wards. Nice job on Elise, though, taking the blue buff away. That's a very big advantage for them, because Cassiopeia without blue is not much of a threat. Shyvana stealing the red. Great synergy on blue team, saying, okay, their buffs are up, we're both invading, we know their jungler's dead, let's rob them of everything they love. That's what you need to do as a jungler and as a mid laner, well, as any lane, really. That flash wasn't needed, but still good job getting out. Again, I want them to use their advantage as blue team to start taking some globals, whether that's towers, whether that's dragons. I want them to keep pushing this. Great job taking the objectives, though, and I would hope that they're then timing both of these buffs so that they can get them warded, they can then either kill or just flat out steal. Blue team's going back. This would be a prime opportunity for purple team to get a free dragon. I'm not sure if they're going to notice, though, that they've gone back in time. Fiddlesticks actually has one of the safer dragons because he can just drain tank it, and Ashe is going to have enough damage that she'd be able to clear it very easily with her BF sword. Orianna's still building up a CS advantage here. I would expect that to continue. I want her to translate that into some sort of pressure across the map, though. For all intensive purposes, Cassiopeia has been shut down. Cassiopeia relies on essentially building an early advantage or having a phenomenally positioned and played team fight mid to late game. So it's not that she has no way to get it back into the game, but right now she's missed her first opportunity, and it's going to be a few minutes till her second opportunity really is going to be shining. I want Orianna to abuse that and build an advantage elsewhere. Oh. The Orianna ult had already missed, so I would suggest for Orianna, position that just slightly better. And the flash wasn't needed, but good reaction time at least by Cassiopeia. Oh, I'm actually going to reverse that. I think that was just Fiddlesticks getting caught out, yeah. I'm not sure. He didn't run into a ward. It was just Spidey sense, it looks like. Great job by Elise there, getting that damage and stun in. And reaction by Orianna. I'm hoping they had that properly communicated back and forth. If not, either way, that was a good job. Again, though, they're not pushing for towers, they're not pushing for objectives with that. Top lane, pretty much the exact same thing. Shyvana is building an advantage, but she's not going to be that consistent at CSing. I might suggest Shyvana work on that just a touch, but Shyvana in general does not clear lane as well. Because she's relying so much on AoE damage, she's going to miss some CS, that's just a given. Oh, lovely. I'm bugged, I can't see blue buff. Back bot lane, any Sivir have 4 kills combined and 3 assists between them, yeah. And only 1 death. I would be pushing this advantage. I don't like double gold per 10 on supports. I think it's a bit redundant. If I were them, I would probably be... Yeah, if I were them, I would build Sightstone, Cage's Pick, and then build a Morellonomicon. That ult was a little early, but I think it's going to work out for them. I would have waited till Fiddlesticks was in position, because that's giving a lot of time for them to return damage in. Good roam by Orianna. Did what I was saying that she needs to do. I would expect them to get all of these kills. They could even get this one if they played it properly. Again, take Dragon, and turret then Dragon or Dragon. Either way, take those globals. Looks like that's what they're doing. I would also expect them to be putting Tibbers in place to tank. Yep, good job. Also, I believe their blue buffs and red buff are up soon. I would hope that they would ward that, or at least have it timed. There were a lot of missed ults in that fight, yes. It could have been a little bit cleaner, but good reaction time by blue team to get that counter gank in there. I just feel that purple team went in too early. Fiddlesticks wasn't beginning his ult. I would have said, wait till Fiddlesticks is in position, then Nami can lock him in place. Because you're giving so much time for Sivir and Annie to return burst. Annie actually still has Ignite up too. It's possible they could have played that a little bit cleaner, but I'm not complaining. They did what they needed to do. I would have expected both of them to chase in on this Orianna. They could have picked up that kill. It would have been a little difficult for Cassiopeia. I would hope that she'll be able to dodge skill shots, though. Shyvana doing exact same thing. Good job by Garen picking up doubles. That's going to give him a little bit of a way to get back in lane. Looks like Fiddlesticks is coming up here. I don't think it's going to turn into anything. Red buff and blue buff are both up. I would hope that blue team would have that timed and be able to go steal it. Doesn't look like they do, though. No one's making a play for it. Shyvana is. Great job, Shyvana, realizing that that came up, having it at least somewhat timed, or at least the map awareness to see that it has come up. Annie, it looks like she's now doing the same thing, getting some wards in there. I would have liked those in place before they came up, but I can't fault them. They're doing what they need to do. Again, they're contesting this bush so much, and it's not a valuable vision point. Tribush and Dragon are the most important for bot lane. Yep, blue team is now going for the enemy blue. They should easily get that, and I would want them to then loop around and dive bot, dependent on how purple team reacts. Looks like Ashe is actually here. They should easily turn this into a kill. No, they need to back out now. That was just sloppy by blue team. They should have been able to instantly pop Ashe, and if they didn't do that, they needed to see Fiddlesticks coming into ult. As soon as the ult starts from Fiddlesticks, you either have to A, cancel it, or B, get the fuck out. They did neither, so that's a little bit bad on their side. Great job on purple team, though, to collapse, realize what was being done, even though they didn't have a ward on it, I don't believe. More ward questions, yeah. I have a second to look at chat. At this point they have 4 bottom. I would suggest that Fate push as much as he can. Looks like he's doing doubles, then he should be able to take this tower, maybe even get a kill onto Garen. I think that purple team, though, is going to be able to turn this into a free tower. I would expect Elise to try and actually come counter this. Is if the other team pinks the river bush. River bush can't see dragon ward. Like this ward right here, that's the standard position for dragon ward. You also then put one in tri-bush. You then have the option of either warding the top tri-bush here, or warding the blue buff. That will cover pretty much everything you need for bot lane. You're going to have vision if they come through your jungle, you're going to have vision if they come through the river, and you're going to have vision if they come through their jungle. This ward right here covers 4 jungle paths. Here, 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 and down in here, which could even be considered a 5th. They have 3 people here. This is going to be a free tower for a blue team, and I would hope they would then be able to land and engage onto Nami. As soon as Nami stepped forward to land that bubble, I would have hoped Annie would have stepped forward and countered with her own stun. They could have then turned that into a free kill. Mid lane here, I'm actually going to back that up so you can see it. Elise way too far forward. She has no ward coverage on her team. Being that far forward is essentially a death wish. Great arrow by Ashe. Good follow-up by the rest of the team. Free kill for them. I think that was just a misplay, though, by Elise. Way too far forward. You don't have wards in their river. You don't have wards in their jungle. You have no way to see them coming. Good bush camp. I don't know, actually. They're a little too split. Annie didn't manage to cancel the Fiddle Drain, so that's pretty much instant fight loss. You need to interrupt Fiddle's skills. They're on a long cooldown and easily interruptible. And he's going to die here totally. I liked the idea of this bush camp, but they just don't have enough numbers for it. You only have 2 people, and they're not really your carries. That was Orianna and Annie. They're going to do a lot of damage, and they have some decent CC, but they don't have the durability to survive if you get engaged on, and they most certainly did. Shyvana is still split pushing top. I would hope that she will then just absolutely decimate their inhibitor turret here, because purple team is not going back right now. Purple team's shoving. Purple team's grouping mid. I'm not sure what for. Dragon's in 30 seconds. But now they're backing, so it's not like they've timed that or are waiting on it. Yeah, Shyvana did exactly what she needed to do. Shove in here, take double golems. You're just building that advantage over and over and over again. She now should be taking wraiths or ganking mid. Either way, building an advantage for her team. I'm not sure why she didn't attack there. That being said, I don't expect her to fight all 3. I just would have expected her to maybe attack move. No one can really duel Shyvana right now. Shyvana is an amazing top laner, and no one plays her. She has actually just popped into popularity the last week or so, where people have realized that she can free farm, and no one can really duel her. Her escapes are incredibly strong. Dragon is up. No one has it warded. Purple team has the numbers here. They have 4 mid. Ooh, good arrow. Good arrow. Landed that right onto Orianna, and good focus killing Orianna, ignoring the Shyvana until they had to. Looks like they're going to be able to turn this. But like, look how tanky Shyvana is. Absolute beast. Sivir's now here though, so she's going to be able to turn this fight around. I would oh. She hesitated. She could have landed one more attack onto the enemy, and they would have got a kill. Instead, she hesitated and got caught in the middle of their team. Good stun by Annie, stunning him inside turret, but again, Garen, he's so tanky. Level and experience advantages are incredibly powerful top lane. They're essentially what determines it. First blood is great. You get an early item, you get some gold. But what really matters is you're then a level or two ahead. Looks like they took turret, swapping over to dragon. Good job on their part. I would hope that they would take this turret, do dragon, and then immediately go clear their buffs and buy. That's going to give them a lot of global gold. They need to build that into items before they try and do any sort of skirmishes. They're also too low to do much. Oh, she might die. That was slight risky. I want them to clear this blue, because if not, blue team is going to steal it. Looks like they're not going to be able to, though. Oriana's coming in here. Oh. Sneaky. Fiddlesticks is going to die. Good flash. Yep. Good catch by Shyvana. If he attacked move, though, I think he would have just been able to kill that so much easier. Whenever you're walking into bushes, attack move. It will force your character to auto-attack any champion that they come in range of. That way people can't just bush juke you. And that's what's happening a lot to Shyvana here. Yeah, purple team's gonna die from this. Great stun by Annie. The stun essentially just set up Sivir for free kills. Oriana has great AoE ults, or not AoE ults, but AoE damage and utility right now. Good job on them to clean that up. I'm not sure exactly. Red buff is up. Shyvana's the one that's been timing and taking that, though, and she's bot lane. She's just going to push in this bottom turret, or, sorry, clear this. Oh my god, I must be tired. She's going to clear this bottom turret. If Nami lands something, or Ashe ult. Ashe ult is up. There we go. Perfect. Great ult. I want Nami to land something. Great job. They got countered, though, by the Shyvana Annie, but I like that they were able to pull out that kill. It was just knowing your damage. Elise here is just doing what she can to split push. She needs to farm to get back into the game here. She's a little bit behind. Alright. Looks like blue team's gonna get out. Oh, that's unfortunate. She didn't know the range on her repel. They have 3 here. I would have hoped they would have done something to the Elise. Not the end of the world, but I would have expected Garen to come in silence and essentially do what he could, and then Ashe could have followed up with some slows. I don't like that repel. That's a really long cooldown to be wasting when you're not really in danger. You need to save it to either dodge burst, or escape, or catch up. There's multiple uses, but yeah, that one wasn't ideal. Such Trash is actually Smurfette. He's in this game. That's his main. It's banned right now, so. Sorry, I was just saying chat. All the chat. Oh, disconnect by Nami. Also, I would like to point out, these are friendly games. If you rage, if you're abusing your teammates in any way, you will be permanently banned from these workshops. If you guys are seeing verbal abuse, rage, AFKs, disconnects, anything like that in these games, I need you guys to screenshot and send them directly to me. That was a good ult, but it's not going to really turn into anything. Fiddle's just going to ult over the wall. Beautiful, beautiful ult here, and just clean up. I would like, though, if Fiddlesticks was going for Hourglass, there's no reason for him to get Locket. He needs Hourglass so he can land these fights. It was a beautiful ult, but it didn't do them any good because he had no way to stay in the fight. Great ult again by Ashe. Ashe's ults have been really on point this game, so I really like that. Yeah. I would suggest or imply that they need to work on their communication a little bit. The Nami bubbles have been pretty decent. Nami bubbles can be pretty difficult to land. I've seen her miss a few easy ones. I've seen her land a few hard ones. So maybe a little bit more practice with Nami's skill shots. but they need to be communicating a little bit better between the two of them so they can combine and overlap their CC in an intelligent way. And I think that would have served them a little bit better in their bot lane. But Ashe is now 9-2-6, so it's worked out. Like, they didn't fall that far behind. On the split side, Annie is not building correct. She built Cage's pick. She should have built that into Morellonomicon. Morellonomicon is an incredibly gold-efficient item. It makes sure people stay low health and gives you fantastic cooldown reduction for more ults, more stuns, more shields. I don't really like this full AP build. On support Annie, you have two main goals. One being Hourglass. You drop your entire burst and then Hourglass, so you have a second set of cooldowns. You do that if you're being focused. Sorry, side note here. Dragon's up in under a minute. I want either team to ward this and essentially be maintaining their control of it for the game. Back to Annie. Her alternative build is that she needs cooldown reduction and incredibly gold efficient items. Currently, Will of the Ancients is not a good item. It's very, very weak. They do have a lot of AP on this team, but it's not worth building. Like, it has its very, very situational uses, but it's just not a very gold efficient item. I don't like it on especially support Annie. I would want her to build some sort of utility. That all only caught one person out. I was actually a little doubtful in the pregame of who are they using to deliver the Orianna ball, and Shyvana. Of course, Shyvana is going to be incredibly tanky from being top lane solo. Oh, balls to the face. So many balls to the face. That's a wasted Nami ult. I would have expected Nami to save that until they need either a disengage or hard engage. Ashe is not going to go in 1v4 or 1v3, so I don't like that Nami ult. That was just a decision they made. I don't think they should have. Blue team looks like they're going to try and secure Dragon. I would suggest on the wait... Oh, paused. I would want them to drop a ward here, here, and then they have it completely covered and get a free Dragon. It looks like they're going to body block it. Or they're going to bait. No, it's too late now. You can't do Dragon. The purple team has reacted to it, and you're reasonably low. They can do Dragon, but it got so much more risky by just waiting those few seconds. Again, I need to remind them that they need to time objectives. They have the timer now. Purple team does not. There was no ward on it. Dragon post 30 minutes at the moment is not overly worth it, but it's still good to keep in mind, so you can sort of figure out where people are going. Adept Bro did not accept the invite last game, Brian, so hopefully he comes back, but he was not here. I invited him about 4 times, never accepted. Baron is going to be the next big objective. If you ever see more than one person bot lane, or you notice that it's not warded and their team's going back, they need to secure a quick dragon, or not dragon, a quick Baron. They do have a lot of damage to secure it. Great blue buff steal here. I would want Nami to be placing some wards deep into their jungle so they can catch them out. Good ult by her. They're just... again, not a good Nami ult. Not a good Nami ult at all. Purple team... Sorry, yeah, purple team was just a little bit too split there. Again, Fiddlesticks... he doesn't have his Hourglass, and until he gets that Hourglass, it's going to be so risky for him to join these fights. It's just going to keep letting blue team snowball. That's a lot of damage from Cassiopeia. She's dead. Oh. Oh, that's surprising. I would have expected the cast dot to be able to kill her, but just enough. Oh. Random Ash Flash. Good job. Okay, that was Elise. Elise is not worth the shutdown. Debatable. Ashe is very, very fed. I might have suggested not wasting that flash. If you ever get Dove as Ashe, you need that reposition, and it's questionable whether that was worth it to kill someone who is already shut down. That was a perfect Cassiopeia ult. Their team was too split to follow up on it, though. I think that both Ashe and Cassiopeia could have done a lot more in that. Even though it wasn't an ideal fight, it was a great Cassiopeia ult, and I would have expected them to get at least a kill or two out of that. It was just their team being split, though. They needed to realize what was happening. They did walk over a ward here. They walked over the ward, and that's what set up the Cassiopeia ult. I would have expected the rest of them who were over at blue buff to jump in here and try and secure those kills. With the right items, cast Consola Baron. Yes, Cassiopeia has a fantastic DPS output. She is essentially the highest DPS of any character in the game, if built properly, and if she's not killed. She's so risky. Risky, but high reward if pulled off. She's fallen out of favor because it's all assassins mid this season. Oh, nothing for her to bounce to. I want Nami to try and land a bubble here. If Nami lands something, they can easily follow up with an Ash Arrow and an instant Fiddle ult. If you ult on Nami, you need to follow it up with a bubble, because they're knocked up in the air, they can't dodge the bubble. It worked out for purple team, but I don't know if I agree with it. They have killed their jungler and their support. Swap over to Baron. You have it warded, you have it cleared. They don't have. Oh, they do have oracles. Good. Clear that ward. Do a quick Baron. Cassiopeia is a fantastic Baron threat. Garen is beefy enough that he can keep people away, and Phil6 can obviously drain tank. When you're doing Baron, don't stand still. Most of it is a ground dot. Obviously, it didn't matter. They got the Baron. Good job for them. But I would have suggested him to just sidestep between each drain. At this point, I want purple team to go back and buy. They should have a lot of gold in their inventory. 1700 on Fiddlestick, 1600 on Garen, 2700 on Cassiopeia, 1500 on Ashe. They need to use that gold, because everyone on blue team is back alive. I think it would have been better served to heal up, get your items, and then use Baron for a final push. Or even not, if not a final push, an objective push, where you're taking out major turrets and inhibitors. Today is not the official workshop. This is just for fun. Today I will allow low gold players to join. Tomorrow is silver only. Silver and bronze only. If you are a gold player, I would appreciate it if you would list your ranking as slightly lower and sign up for a role that you're not totally experienced with. So sign up as what you feel your rating is with that role. I just don't want teams completely raffle stomping each other. Good job, purple team, cleaning that up. I'm actually going to back that up because I did miss a lot of that fight. I was reading chat. Okay, so Shyvana went in. Good Nami disengage and bubble. I would expect Cassiopeia to get a lot more DPS during that. She landed her ult on 2, and again, she's not landing the DPS during that. Great Ash Arrow right as soon as she came out of Hourglass. Similar to Tryndamere ult, you need to count the cooldown of things like that. Ashe is, again, going to pick up that free kill. Good job. No, she's not going to get that. Fiddlestick's ult is up. I want Fiddlesticks to ult over this wall right now. Perfect. Perfect job. Land the fear. There you go. You're going to get that too. What? There you go. They did get it, but Fiddlesticks could have secured that so much earlier. Purple team's looking very strong right now. They need to take this They need to take this turret, take this inhibitor very quick. They have about 15 seconds to do so, and Ashe is fed. Right after that, though, they need to go buy. They have so much gold on them. They need to get their final items, and they need to end the game. I would have liked Fiddle to stay. That was a free inhibitor. Again, go buy, get your final items, get blue buff, enemy red buff, dragon, do a final push. Yes, all of these go on YouTube. There's a link below for the YouTube channel, and you can watch previous games there. It's usually updated within about 24 hours. As I mentioned earlier, Dragon is not overly important at this point, but it's still worth taking. If you don't have something else, if you're not able to get a quick inhibitor, if you're not able to secure a team fight, it's great for baiting people into a fight if you're ahead, and it's great for getting a little bit of advantage back if you're a little bit behind. But you do have to treat it carefully because the risk of it is often not worth the reward after about 30 minutes. That's going to change in Season 4, though, because it's going to get scaling rewards. Again, Elise is not landing her repels. I don't know if she just doesn't know Elise very well, but it just seems like she's not landing her stuff. Maybe she's laggy, though. I don't know. Red buff is up here. I would hope they would give that over to Sivir or even Shyvana. Because you're going to want that red buff for your team fight. Little late, though, because the team fight's already here. Ash Arrow, again. They're landing these Ash Arrows onto Orianna every single time. And that's a fantastic job by Ashe. That is their priority target. She is so much of their utility in these fights. Unfortunately, Fiddlestick's ult not quite on point. He does have his Hourglass now, though. I would have expected him to save that, because they're going to be doing a quick turret fight here. I would save that, or not Orianna ult. I would save that Fiddlestick's ult for these sort of fights where you know they have to defend a fixed location rather than when they're running away. I would want them to take this turret, top turret, and then go back. Maybe even take enemy red buff on the way. They don't have time to end. Orianna and Annie are up. They could end, but it's rather risky. The safe bet would take a quick inhibitor, take buffs, again, go by, and then do a final push. But it looks like they're going to go for the end, and that's going to work out fine for them, because Orianna doesn't have a front line right now. So yeah, good game. Great job by both teams. Fantastic use of those Ash Arrows and your AoE ults on purple. They were a bit behind, but they pulled it through. I'm now going to do a quick overview of the final builds and CS scores, that sort of thing. I believe Brian has a finalized list of people who are playing the next game. So we're gonna get right into the next game in just a minute. If you still want to play and are not signed up, you can do so at profornever.com. Just a heads up though, it's going to be a different sign-up sheet tomorrow. If you sign up today, that does not mean you're entered for tomorrow. Okay, so quick overview. Orianna, 240 CS in a 39-minute game. Not bad, but could use some work. I noticed that she did not roam very much. The roam she did use, though, went very well for her. She did get some easy kills bot lane. Good for her on that. I would have wanted her to pick up Wraiths, though. Get a kill mid, shove in, take Wraiths, gank bot. I just feel she could have done a little more to maintain that ban. Sorry, I'm reading chat at the same time. Maintain that advantage. Holy crap. Sivir here. Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, Guardian Angel. I like the Guardian Angel. I think, though, that Phantom Dancer is a bit much on Sivir. She has a lot of move speed already, and with her alt and W, she has some decent attack speed. I would have suggested swapping that out for Trinity Force instead, because Trinity Force is going to give you a lot of burst, similar idea of mobility and attack speed, as well as some extra stats in there. I just think it would have been a little bit better of a purchase. Not that it's a bad item, though. I just think it could have been better. Annie, I had a number of concerns with her build throughout that game. On support Annie, you need cooldown reduction. And you need things like Hourglass, so that you can flash in alt and then survive to clean up after the fight. Rod of Ages takes a very long time to build up. I didn't see what time she finished it by, but if you can't get it early in the game, don't build Rod of Ages. It is my opinion. I would have suggested she gone for Morellonomicon. I would have also not bothered with Philosopher's Stone. I would have done first item Sight Stone, second item Morellonomicon built out of Cage's pick. And then I would have built a, whatchamacallit, Arm Guard. Early Arm Guard, because that's going to give you a lot of armor in lane, and it's going to give you a significant amount of AP, and it's going to build into an Hourglass for your late game. And at that point I would have focused on map vision items. Shyvana did fantastic job top lane of bullying. Her CS is a little bit behind what I'd like it to be, but as I mentioned in game, Shyvana does have difficulty securing last hits just because so much of her damage is AoE, is dots. That being said, her build is fine. I would have suggested a Hydra though. Hydra, Sunfire, Cape, and then probably a Randuin's. Spirit Visage is a fine item, especially versus this much magic damage on the enemy team, but I would have preferred a Hydra just for the wave clear, split push power, and dueling power. Elise, I had a number of concerns during her jungling with just how she managed her Elise from a technical standpoint. I am not an Elise player, I am not a very good jungler, but I did notice a number of issues. As a jungler, you pretty much need to go blue buff right to red buff. She also is not letting minions tank the creeps for her. She needs to let the spiders do the tanking. Build, I would have suggested a little bit tankier. Landry's is great, but You kind of need a little bit of tankiness in there. Maybe a Rylai's instead. It's fine. Cassiopeia landed some great ults. Her team wasn't very good at following them up, though. So as Cassiopeia, I would be paying very close attention to where my team is and saying, I could ult right now, but wait, if I ult, can I actually pick up these kills? Or is it just going to be, I use my ult, now they dive me? She did land some great ults. I think that was just a little bit of issues with team communication. I already complimented his Ashe. Did great job. Great CS there. Maintaining CS throughout the game, as well as landing a lot of kills. Build is pretty much perfect, what you'd want. I might have suggested building a Guardian Angel, but you only died 2 times, so it's not like it's like you're being focused. I had a complaint with Phil6 that he built Locket. Locket's a great item on junglers, but you need that Hourglass. You cannot do all-in engages in a team fight until you have it finished. So he delayed that for about 2,000 to 3,000 gold to build that Locket. So I'm not a fan of that build order. I would suggest build Hourglass first, then you can build Locket or build Abyssal or something else to help complement your team. Nami, her build is fine. It's not really an issue. I would suggest working on when to ult. She missed a lot of her ults, and she used a lot of ults when they weren't going to set up a fight or weren't disengaging an immediate dive. Just practice with the champion. Pick up what opportunities you can. Garen, he played the lane to lose a little bit. Not that he played poorly, but he started Red Pot and Exhaust. With Exhaust, you're not going to have early kill potential outside of a gank. With Red Pot, you're not going to have the tankiness to survive the all-in from Shyvana, who wants to all-in you. So I would have suggested starting Doran's instead, and then building up some early tankiness and trying to essentially win through farm. So yeah, that's the main points I have. I'm going to start farming the team here. Brian will list them in